So hi, so it's Ken again. Welcome to my beautiful surroundings. So today we're going to do another meditation. We're going to work on the Microcosmic Orbit, or sometimes called the small heavenly circulation. I'm going to present it to you in a few different ways. So you can go away, you can do this meditation, then you can go away and practice it in your preferred, or practice them both and see, or practice, I think we're going to do three, practice all three and then decide which one which works for you the best. Okay, so Microcosmic Orbit, or the small heavenly circulation, is a very ancient Taoist meditation, or internal Qigong. So let's get into it. Let's go through our checklist, and we'll go through the different types of breathing we're going to be using. So, head as if suspend from above. So in Taoist practices, they say, imagine you have a golden thread on the top of the head on this Bai Huai point, this 100 convergence, this 100 meeting place. Imagine this is tied up to the heavens. So head as if suspended from above. We have that pull back, lifting feeling of the head. We're going to be working with the tongue, roof, mouth, lips and teeth lightly together, chin tucked in, jaw parallel to the floor, that lifting feeling of the head. Keep that small gap underneath each armpit, as if cradling a small bird's egg underneath each armpit without crushing or dropping the eggs. Sink the chest around the upper back, so we know we're not hollowing the chest there and hunching the back. It's just gentle sinking. So we're not going to be doing this shallow breathing, sticking the chest out. Sink the ribs to fill the back. This is one that has really helped me with relaxing the lower back, that lumbar fascia and the erector spinal muscles in the lower back. Sink the ribs to fill the lower back. And have that feeling as if you're tilting your pelvic area ever so slightly forwards, or pushing the tailbone, the coccyx towards the floor forwards and ever so slightly up. And that with the head as if suspended from above gives you that nice lengthening of your spine. So hands where you don't have to think about holding them up. So this is a Taoist meditation, so you probably wouldn't be doing a hand position, a mudra. So I'm just going to rest my hands onto my thighs. As I've talked about in other films, this is good for grounding. It makes it so you don't have to think about your hands. So breathing in through the nose. If you can, of course. Breathing in to the lower abdomen. Breathing out through the nose, again if you can. Breathing in through the nose to the lower abdomen, or to this whole area around here. Breathing out, so feel this whole area expand as you breathe in, and contract as you breathe out. So doing nice, deep abdominal breathing, diaphragmic breathing, belly breathing, baby breathing, dantian breathing. So the breath settle out, just concentrate on the breath. Really feel like you're breathing into the area that's about 3 fingertips below the belly button and in the center of the body. Breathing out, just let the breath settle down. Bring your awareness to your center, which is hard. So we have the lower dantian, we have the 3 dantians, the lower dantian, the middle dantian and the upper dantian, which we worked on in the one of the meditations I did, the mingling fire and water. Worked on that in the previous film. I'll put a link to it. I'll put a link to it up here. So we tend to just work with the lower dantian in Tai Chi and Taoist practice. They work with all 3 of these dantians, the fields of being. So breathing into the lower. And right in front of the lower dantian, about 3 fingers below the belly button, you have an area that's called the Chi Hai, or the Sea of Chi. The middle, the lower dantian is often referred to as the Sea of Chi as well. But in front of that, we have an acupressure point called, in my understanding, is the Sea of Chi. And behind the lower dantian, or behind the navel, you have an acupressure point called the Mengmen, the gate of your fate. And these are on 2 meridians inside the body. 2 of the first meridians to form when you are a fetus inside your mother, what they call the Dumai and the Dumai and the Ren Mai, the governing meridian and the conceptional meridian. The governing meridian travels up the back of the body from in between the legs, from the perineum, or the Hui Yin, the meeting of Yin, and it travels from in between the legs, up the back of the body, up to the top of the head, and round to the roof of the mouth. And the conceptional meridian runs from the tongue down the front of the body to that point in between the legs, the Hui Yin, or the Hui Yin, the meeting of Yin, or sometimes called the meeting of Yin and Yang as well. These 2 meridians could be classed as Yin and Yang. And these make up the microcosmic orbit. So the conceptional meridian travelling down the front of the body from the tongue to in between the legs of the perineum, and the governing meridian travelling from that point up the back of the body up to the top of the head to the roof of the mouth. And the tongue on the roof of the mouth makes the connection between those 2 meridians. Okay, so you can close your eyes here. We're going to really try and move energy around this cycle, this orbit here. So the lower dantian is often referred to a water wheel, like a water wheel driving the energy around these two meridians, and then subsequently all the other, there's 12 major meridians, 20 meridians in all. So this helps, this microcosmic orbit and this working with the dantian helps to circulate the chi energy through all of the meridians. And again, this chi energy, a major part of traditional Chinese medicine, is something that can't really be measured by Western instruments. You can't see it. Somebody who has not been trained in can't feel it, so you can't prove that it exists. But that belief in it. I mean, belief is a very, very powerful thing. That belief in it really helps you to move it around your body. So throw away any disbelief you have for a moment and just get yourself somewhere where nobody's going to see you, and kind of throw away that disbelief and really put your mind wholeheartedly into what we're going to try and do here. Okay, so closing your eyes. You're breathing in. It's that ball in the belly, that area that's about 3 fingers below the belly button and in the center of the body. So closing your eyes, or if you don't feel comfortable and balanced with your eyes closed, try not to be distracted by anything you see around you. And again, with all the senses, try not to be distracted. That is, try not to think about anything you are taking in through your senses. Everything's just there, but you're not thinking about it. You're not judging it as being good, bad, unusual. It's just there, and you're concentrating on the breath and the area in front of the lower dantian, about 3 fingers below the belly button, the chi high. You need to imagine, visualize, you have like a glowing golden pearl there. Imagine whatever size you wish. It could be as small as a grain of sand, or as big as a marble, or something bigger. Imagine a glowing golden pearl, glowing brightly. It starts to feel heavier, start to feel its density, and it starts to sink down through the lower abdomen. You can pass through all the internal organs without damaging them, and it just settles down in between your legs, around the perineum area, in between the genitals and the ears. This glowing golden pearl. And with your mind, we have to move this pearl up from in between the legs, up the coccyx, where the coccyx meets the sacrum, and into your spine, an area that we call the Wei-Lu, the tail gate. And use your mind to move this pearl up through that point. It's quite hard to get it through that point. Let's start with a little opening about the size of a pinhead. Just feel that glowing golden pearl making its way through where the coccyx, the tailbone, meets the sacrum, the part of the spine that makes up the pelvis, and enters your spine. Feel it moving up. From there, imagine it starts to rise like a helium balloon, rising up through the Mongmen point, behind the dantian, behind the belly button, rising up like a helium balloon to that point in between your shoulder blades called the Jia. You have to forgive my Mandarin pronunciations there. This is called the spirit gate. Rising up, so really relax that point in between the shoulder blades, opening up. Feel this glowing golden pearl rising through that area like a helium balloon, rising up, entering that point, that knobbly bit where the thoracic spine meets the cervical spine, so the neck, that knobbly bit that sticks out just above the shoulder blades, travelling up into a gate at the base of the skull, the top of the spine, called the Jade Pillar Gate. I believe it's pronounced the Niuan, the Jade Pillar Gate, not to be confused with the Jade Gate. Rising up through that gate, and again it might be quite hard to get it up through there, so just imagine that pearl glowing brightly, making its way through that gate at the base of the skull, the top of the spine, the jade pillar gate. And again, it might only make quite a narrow opening, quite a small opening, but it rises up through there, pushing the head up, with the spine lengthening up to the top of the head to that, the Baihuai, the hundreds meeting place. And just let it rest there for a while, absorbing the energy of the universe, or mixing your energies with the energies of the universe. And feel it moving around the top of the head, to the roof of the mouth, and it drops down. Or you can feel it settling in between the eyebrows, that area that's often called the third eye. And resting and glowing there, illuminating. Drops down to the roof of the mouth, so the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, making that connection. Imagine it turns into a golden bubble or droplet of nectar, and swallow that nectar, and feel it sinking down. So it's got a little bit of weight to it, as light as a feather in it, but weight to it. It starts to sink down the front of the body to the point in between and the center of your chest, level with your heart. Sinking down to where it began. It keeps in the front of the body. That's where we imagined it to start with, and it drops back down to that point in between the legs. So that's the microcosmic orbit, one cycle there. So let's try it. Let's try it now with our breath. So starting in between your legs, breathing in. In fact, let's start it with the reverse breathing. So if you are new to my films and you've not seen done any the previous films of me, you can go back to a film I did on reverse breathing, reverse Taoist breathing. I'll put the link in here. So the reverse Taoist breathing, we're breathing in. So the other breath we were in, the Buddhist breathing, the breathing in this abdominal breathing, this whole area is expanding. Now as you breathe in, we want to pull the belly towards the back, tense the buttocks, perineum, and the internal anal sphincter, or the anal sphincters. And we're only tensing them to about a third of their maximum. So if that's as much you can tense them, only tense them to a third of their maximum. So breathe in, you pull the belly in. You're not pulling them like you're malnourished. You feel like you're pulling your belly towards your back. You tense the buttocks, the anal sphincters, and the perineum, and that tilts the pelvic area forwards. Okay, so this is Taoist reverse breathing. We're going to put this with the microcosmic orbit. And so they have that gate, that tail gate. We have the three gates in traditional Chinese medicine, the tail gate, the gate in between the long main point and this knobbly bit here, and this gate, the neck, the spine region of the spine, where it's hard to get energies to travel through. The lower one is often referred to as being like a goat. Goats have lots of power, but they're stubborn. Then we have the one going through the Jai point in the middle back, the spirit gate, or you have the spirit gate. They're often referred to as like a deer. Deers are quick. You very rarely see them, so you have to pay attention there. And the other one is like a bull. A bull, lots of force, and it can be hard to get them moving through there. So there are three gates. So the reverse breathing in, pull the belly towards the back, tense the buttocks, the pelvic floor. So you're activating the pelvic floor, that pelvic bowl, the anal sphincters, the perineum, and this is said to act as a pump to pump up through that the tailgate, the Wei Lu. You're breathing in, so push it up, travels up through that gate there, up the back, head as if suspend from above, up through the middle of the back, through the neck, to the top of the head, to the roof of the mouth, then breathing out. It travels down the front of the body, so as the belly expands, it travels down the front of the body to in between your legs. So breathing in to that, pulling the belly towards the back, the reverse breathing, tense the buttocks, the pelvic floor, the anal sphincters, the perineum. Guide it, push it up your back through those three gates to the top of the head. Head as if suspended from above. around to the roof of the mouth. Breathing out, it travels down through the tongue on the roof of the mouth. It flows down the front of the body as the belly expands. Back to the point in between your legs, breathing in up the back. To the top of the head. Around to the roof of the mouth, breathing out down the front of the body. To the point in between the legs. Breathing in. You might find yourself rocking ever so slightly with this movement. That's okay. If it happens, let it happen. If it doesn't happen, don't force it. You might find it easier to add a colour to this visualization of this energy travelling around through your body. So you can imagine a golden light, like we have with the golden pearl, travelling around. Or a white light, or mother of pearl white light, so white with all the colours of the rainbow in it, all the colours of the spectrum in the colour. You might have a colour that kind of just starts to happen here. So if it happens, let it happen. Try to use if you are putting your own colour to it, try to use a bright, vibrant colour. If you use a darker colour, try to make it a shiny colour, a shiny dark colour. Breathing in, reverse breathe in. Energy travels from within the legs as you do that, tensing through that Wei-Lu, the tailgate, up through the Mong Men, the Jiazi, and your Wan, to the top of the head, to the Wai-Hwai, down to the roof of the mouth, through the tip of the tongue, down the front of the body. As the belly expands, it travels down, goes in between your legs and breathing in. So if you're new to this practice, it might take quite a few goes before you start to really feel this energy. You might just be imagining without really feeling anything to start off with. And through that imagining, through practice, it becomes something more. But again, it's this experiential, you only get it through practice. So if you've just tried a couple of minutes and you're giving up there, then you are already missing a real gem. Very ancient, very old practice. It's to be a practice for spiritual development. Breathing into the tense and reverse breathing, push it up the back, through those three gates, head as if suspended from above, to the top of the head, to the roof of the mouth, breathing out, down through the tip of the tongue, the roof of the mouth, down the front of the body, down through that meridian, down the front of the body, down to between your legs, breathing in, up the governing meridian, around to the top of to the roof of the mouth, down the conceptual meridian. So through practice, you'll start to feel a bit of a trickle. But as you really start to make a connection between those meridians, with your mind, it starts to turn into a faster moving, so it might start off as a trickle when you first start to do this. Okay, you might just be imagining a slow trickle. With practice, it comes to turn into like a fast moving river, and then a real torrent. And you get to a stage where you don't really have to guide it yourself. They say in traditional Chinese medicine, the mind moves the chi moves the body. You get to a point where it's not you moving this chi anymore, it's just moving through those meridians. And you're following rather than leading. Let your mind settle into the area that's about 3 fingertips below the belly button and in the center of the body. You can imagine that pearl is there, glowing bright. Just let your mind settle into the low dantian. You could think to yourself or say it out loud, I am Chi. And Chi is me. Or I am energy. and energy is me. No mind to control the breath. No mind to control any movements and the energy inside your body, just settling in your center. And when you're ready, you can rub your hands. Make sure your hands are nice and clean. Again, I should have said at the start, just to wash your hands. So your hands probably should be warmer than they were when you started. Some of you might have really glowing hands. Don't worry if your hands don't feel any warmer. Rub your hands, put some friction heat into them. You place the loud one points and the center hands over your eyes. Feel yourself absorbing that warmth, that energy from your hands into your eyes. You can rub your face. Give yourself a wash with that energy. Do the crown of the neck. Rub your shoulders, inside the arms 3 times, outside the arms 3 times. Rub the belly, way the other way, up and down, all the way around. Rub the lower back, the kidney area. You feel like you're rubbing in that magic cream. The hips, inguinal crease, the buttocks. You sat for a while, so the buttocks can rub, thighs, knees, shins, calves, ankles. Anyway, you feel needs some special attention, give it a rub. Okay, so I'm gonna finish that. So that's the Microcosmic Orbit, or the small heavenly circulation. Really nice meditation, very old meditations. It's called the Master of Meditations, the internal Taoist Qigong. Really good. I can't recommend it more. But I'm just starting to waffle now, so go and give it a practice, and I will see you in the next one. So bye. 4